Hoo boy, we got a big episode today here. WrestleMan with the podcast is in its 12th rendition, and this was a crazy-ass weekend for wrestling. We had two premium live events from WWE and AEW. Me and two special guests are going to review those. We had big moments such as MJF returning, Mercedes Moné winning the TBS title, Liv Morgan winning the Women's World title, MJF returning, Adam Copeland unfortunately injured, and we got other news such as Becky Lynch's contract situation, and we know where SummerSlam in 2 years is heading. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into this. WrestleMan with the podcast starts now.
Welcome to WrestleMan with the podcast. I'm Dylan Shields. We talk Raw, SmackDown, wrestling news, and some fun top lists. With that being said, ring the bell.
Alrighty here, let's get started with the episode, and I apologize about starting late. As if you know, for the past few times, one of the guests, Matt, has been having Wi-Fi problems, and tonight it hasn't been good for him, so he might be cutting on and off every now and then. We'll try to figure it out as best as we can. We know Troy has pretty good Wi-Fi here. Let's introduce him first. Troy,
here actually has decent Wi-Fi. Yes.
So, was it a busy weekend for you and everything? Because I think we all got jobs, so it's tough to keep up with wrestling because there was a shit ton this weekend.
I didn't watch anything live. I had to watch the highlights of stuff later. Anytime any show's happening this week, I could not watch it live because I was doing so much. So I had to watch everything later.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Actually, when I was at work, I watched the main event of King and Queen of the Ring because it was dead. And my store, I work at a grocery store, and they're pretty laid back. Like, they don't care if you're on your phone. So I just turn it on. Why does the main event happen? It was a great match. Predictable match, but great match.
That's the one I didn't see.
Yeah, but while we wait for Matt, we might as well get into it here. Let's just start talking about King and Queen of... Yes, I changed the background. Doesn't it look so cool?
Yeah, I know. Look at that.
So I don't want this podcast to be 5 hours, because if we talk about both pay-per-views match per match, like every match, then we're going to be here all night. But we could talk about biggest takeaways from it and like big moments. Like the first one I want to talk about, I got it up here in the top right, is the opening match and Liv Morgan winning the Women's World title from Becky Lynch. And Dirty Dom accidentally cost Becky the title and Judgment Day were pissed. So Troy, what do you think about this Liv Morgan revenge tour here?
So, I mean, I like Liv as a character. I think she's got, like, great character work. And I'm curious where this is going to go. I don't think she's that great of a wrestler, personally. I don't think her matches are that great. But, I mean, with her new character, now her being a baddie with Dom, like, I'm very curious where it's going to lead. Because it's going to lead when Rhea comes back to Rhea being a face.
I would think you have to bring her back as a face.
Like, Dom is cheating on Rhea with Liv.
Yeah, and on Raw, they cut it off of USA, which
weird, yeah.
Thank God they're going to Netflix next year for Raw.
Thank fuck.
They cut off right before Liv Morgan kissed Dominic at the end when she retained again in the steel cage match. So, I mean, I'm personally loving this. I know, like, everyone kind of like criticizes Liv's wrestling. Maybe it's not the greatest, especially her finisher may not be
finisher's terrible.
But like the story with Dominic, and then when Rhea comes back, you've been clamoring for a custody of Dominic match forever. I just want Rhea to kick him in the nuts or headbutt him or something, because that would be the biggest pop ever. I mean, I hope this title reign is better than her 2 years ago, when she just wasn't that interesting of a character. They gave the belt to her maybe too quickly,
Yeah.
And it just, like she had like not great matches with Ronda. So
She didn't hold it for that long. It was like, what, 2 months?
Yeah, not a long time. So I'm hopeful that this, because of her character, is better for her.
We shall see. We shall see. It's very interesting. Like, I get why Becky's that transitional champion, but it's also like, damn, didn't do a whole lot, did you?
No, and then I'll change the picture because, yes, Becky Lynch, apparently her contract, I believe it's sometime this weekend, is up. So this was her last match for a while.
Yeah. Listen, this is the easiest re-sign W is gonna do. You know that she's like their second biggest women's star. She's going if somehow WWE lets her go, especially in the Triple H era, I think that would be so idiotic. Like she's going to resign. It's like if she doesn't resign, like, man, if she goes to AEW, that would be weird.
My thing is, and I know there's been plenty of wrestling relationships that have been with both companies, but as long as Seth's there, she's there.
Yeah.
There's no way either of them are, like, if Seth's still WWE, that Becky's going to really go anywhere else.
Yeah.
I think I've heard that, like, there's financial stuff or there's, like, contract issues, but I don't think Becky's, like, considering going anywhere else. It's the same thing with Drew, where he was said, I didn't consider going anywhere else. It was just financial situations we had to talk about.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I honestly think Becky was supposed to be still gone after WrestleMania. I think because of Rhea getting hurt, they had to call an audible, bring Becky back to win, so Liv can definitively, beat her for the title. So she at least beats a big star. So
yeah.
She's actually going to get a legit break this time for good. Once she resigns.
Yeah. And then she's going to take a couple months off, and then Liv can face Lyra, I guess? Who else is a face on Raw?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I'd like to see Lyra get a championship match, maybe a Clash at the Castle or something.
Because once we finally get to the Queen, Nia Jax's title match is happening.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that's probably
all right, we got breaking news here. Someone is here. The
Oh my! Look at that some bitch's face,
bro. I'm using my phone, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. Firefox is not working for me on my laptop.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, at least you got it working. At least
my update on my laptop is increasing, so that's good. So hopefully I can resolve that in 5 days from now.
But we were just getting started. Matt. The only thing you kind of missed, and we'll let you talk about it, is the beginning of the pay-per-view for King and Queen of the Ring. Liv Morgan winning the Women's World title because of Dominic. What do you think about this whole character arc? And then her kissing Dominic at the end of Raw that USA cut off. But still, what do you think of this whole revenge tour thing for her?
Well, I'm glad she won. I wish she would have won fairly, but it is what it is. She hasn't been champion for a while. I think that this is a plan with Dom and Liv. Mm. And Dom's just pretending that he doesn't know shit, so that way Rhea doesn't know, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I'm happy that she won. I recently heard that Becky hasn't signed with WWE.
We were just talking about that. Her contract apparently is up this weekend, but me and Troy said it's kind of like an easy re-signing. I just think it's financial issues, that's all.
I don't see a world where Becky just doesn't resign. It's like the easiest slam dunk, just resign her.
Before we continue, I just wanted to say, can you guys hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we could hear you.
Okay, because Dylan's has a huge ass echo or whatever for me.
Me too. I don't know if it's his mic or what. No, he has a huge ass echo for me too.
Okay.
Oh well, you guys will have to suck it up then.
I didn't know if it was on my end because it was telling me that I probably should use headphones, and I just No,
I'm using headphones. I still hear it.
Okay.
Who knows? But I can't see Becky going anywhere else. I told Troy as long as Seth's still there. And I know there's like WWE and AEW relationships, but it's just hard to believe that Becky wants to go anywhere else. I think it's similar to Drew's situation where he doesn't want to go anywhere else, and neither, I don't think, does Becky. They just got to work out money-wise. So, and I also think, too, what did I mention? I think I also mentioned that I thought she was going to go on break after WrestleMania, but they had to call an audible because Rhea got hurt. So they had to have her win the title and then have Liv beat her, and now she can actually take her break for once.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if she doesn't re-sign, I'll be shocked. But for either one of you, do you have any other takeaways from this pay-per-view at all? Like any matches-wise?
Okay, I have 3 points. The finish to the Lyra Queen of the Ring match, that was fucking nasty how just Nia just sat that shit. I don't remember the rest of that match at all. That match is a fucking blur. I watched it. I completely forgot about it. But the finish was great. It makes sense that Nia would win because obviously, like, unless they would like super push Lyra, which they're not going to. It makes sense. There's just so many heels right now. I guess there's not like. Are you okay over there?
I'm trying to set my phone up properly so that way I don't have to like hold it, but it's not going well.
Boy. I'm happy Gunther won. It's weird that he didn't win cleanly.
Yeah, I have no clue if that was intentional or not because Triple H brought it up and addressed it. And
the IC title match was pretty good. Waiting for this Perk Gable to really hit its stride, which I think it's going to very soon. Because I don't think Sammy's holding this IC title for much longer, not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, I've praised the past few weeks of Gable's heel work. And I've said it so many times where, like, I don't even think last year or 2 years ago you would have been invested in Otis turning on Gable. But now he's one of the most over guys on Raw. They're chanting his name, and Sammy was supporting him. So it's very exciting to see that. And then the inevitable team with Gable and the Creed brothers. And then probably Gable will win the IC title. And we'll get Perk Angle, except it'll be Perk Gable.
It's going to be gold. It's going to be actually money.
It's going to be gold. But Matt,
Gable.
Matt, what are your takeaways from the Saudi pay-per-view?
I'm surprised you guys didn't even talk about this yet, but the whole Gunther Orton finish.
Yeah, I'm just about to talk that. It's weird. Why? Why can't Gunther just go over?
Well, my mom was like, I was watching the pay-per-view like the second half with my mom because I actually was at work when it started. So like the first 3 matches were like I was at work leaving. But she was like saying like, "Oh, Randy must be hurt and all that and blah blah blah," and you know, that's fucked up or whatever. That shouldn't be right. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Either they messed up or they did that on purpose. I mean, Triple H apparently I heard that he afterwards he talked about how that was an issue, but he just was like, the ref's decision is final. So, what I am intrigued is that he says something about maybe it's like maybe set up another rematch or something, but they're on different brands. So like, I don't know how they would do a rematch unless they like figure something out.
You could do it at the Clash. That's the next thing coming up.
But still, like, it should be SmackDown matches and Raw matches. You know what I mean? Like, the only way I could see is maybe like Survivor Series.
So we're gonna wait for this King of the Ring for fucking 6 months until November. Yeah.
Well, my thing is, I understand, including me, was thinking, like, why don't you just have Gunther definitively win? But I do think they wanted to protect Orton because of what they teased on SmackDown. I've been teasing, like, what's Cody going to do at SummerSlam? I think we're going to get Cody versus Orton. And I think that could be Triple H's, like, announcement, where it's like, oh, because it was an unfair finish, like, Gunther's still king of the ring, but Orton gets his title shot at SummerSlam still, because he kind of got fucked over. So we'll get Cody versus Orton. Even if maybe I wanted it to wait a little bit, that rivalry, I mean, we'll get it. I feel like one of them, like Orton, should probably turn heel, because if Orton's still a babyface, you don't want Cody to get booed for that rivalry. And if Cody and Gunther Orton and Gunther have a rematch, Gunther should probably win. I don't think you want Orton losing too many times. So I don't know if a rematch is necessary. It sucks because the match itself was amazing before that. Orton was selling good to the point where Matt's mom thought he was legit hurt. So... And Gunther would not wear his crown. I don't know if it can't fit on his head or if he just likes holding it.
Why do you have the crown if you're not going to wear it?
I don't think Nia was wearing it. Was she wearing it at all?
I think she was when she celebrated.
Because Triple H didn't crown him?
Yeah.
Well, I think, like, with Gunther, I think, if you remember, like, with William Regal, he never wore the robe or had the scepter or held the crown. He just sat in the chair.
So
maybe he's just, like, not wearing it, but like holding it as like a prestige, like a title in a sense or something like that. Or because on Raw, he pretty much said he wanted to bring prestige back to the King of the Ring. You know, same thing how he did with the IC title, and so. And
Troy, you mentioned the Nia thing. Like, that Annihilator was badass. Poor Lyra probably got really fucked up from that move.
Oh my.
Can we talk about for the main event of Cody versus Logan Paul?
Yeah, I was going to skip that.
The biggest spot in the match. Cody did a fucking vertebreaker.
I thought you were going to talk about the drone shot. The drone shot was fabulous.
Yes. How about my biggest spot of the match? When Michael Cole was arguing with him, and he called him a loser, and Logan Paul's like, "I will kill you." And we're gonna get Michael Cole in the singlet again.
No, not gonna lie. I thought that might have been teasing Logan Paul versus Corey Graves.
Yeah, that's true. Because Corey was holding back.
Well, because he's clear to compete, and I recently saw like in a post or whatever on Instagram saying that they kind of want to have him as like a part timer.
I wouldn't mind that. That'd be cool. I mean, I prefer if anyone were to stand up for Cole, be Pat McAfee, since they're more friends. But it's weird because Logan's on SmackDown and Cole and McAfee are on Raw, so I don't know how you get to do that.
Yeah, that's another match they could always do is McAfee versus Corey Graves, considering they hate each other every single time. But yeah, the vertebraker you mentioned and that drone shot, which apparently, if you saw Logan Paul's like story or post, it was like him sending a text. I think it was like Triple H or like management with that idea, and Logan Paul's like, "I waited a year for this idea to come." It was a great idea, Logan, because that was a fantastic shot.
From what I heard, that was Kevin Dunn, and Kevin Dunn was like, "No."
Of course he wasn't, but now he's gone, so who cares?
Yeah, fuck him.
But yeah, that was a great main event. Predictable, we all knew, but like still, they had great chemistry with each other.
I'm curious where Logan's going to go after this with the U.S. title, though. Like,
well, they teased LA Knight.
They did.
So, but I think that's got to save it for SummerSlam.
That Clash, the next show.
I don't know. Like, hopefully Logan can have a few title defenses, give him some wins because he's been losing a decent amount as champion in non-title matches. But yeah.
Here's the thing, what I think about that is that part of me believes, considering now that they made the whole King of the Ring thing be for the title, I think Priest is going to hold the title till SummerSlam.
I was just about to mention that, being like, because now Drew versus Priest is official, and a lot of people, including me, are kind of doubting that Drew's going to get his moment, thinking Priest might retain the title.
This poor man can't get his moment no matter what.
Here's what I think is going to happen. Punk is going to cross Drew again.
At Clash, and
either this will be a one-time thing because they're in Drew's hometown, or they could do like a role switch where Drew's the face and Punk's the heel. and they just still have a match at SummerSlam, but just not for a world title.
I guess the argument is they don't need a title. Priest kind of needs it a little more. And maybe they're going to turn him face when he faces Gunther at SummerSlam. Which, even then, I think people are just going to cheer for Gunther anyway. I'll at least cheer for him if that's the match. But
I think that's the better way of doing things, because thinking about it, yeah, we probably wouldn't care about Punk versus Drew for the world title. But, like, what did Punk ever do to deserve the world title match? You get what I'm saying?
It's a good point.
He pisses off Drew. Like, he only had the Royal Rumble match, which he didn't win, and he got hurt. So logically, why would Punk just get a world title match? Like, this is his second match back in the company.
Unless he wins a #1 contenders match on Raw or some shit, which they could pull that.
True.
We still have time before SummerSlam, but it's also very interesting. Cause if Damian Priest turns face, and if Rhea comes back and Rhea's going to be a face, does that mean all of Judgment Day is going to be a face, or is Dom and Finn Balor still going to remain heels?
I mean, and my thing too is I thought they were just going to save Gunther's moment for Berlin. I didn't think they'd give him a title shot at SummerSlam. So is he going to get screwed at SummerSlam and lose, or is he going to win and he'll be champion in Berlin? Maybe him versus Dragunov for the world title at Bash at Berlin or something. I mean, that would be amazing. I thought they would wait for Gunther's moment in Germany for him to get that pop. Compared to Cleveland, where, yeah, they'll probably give him a pop, but compared to his home country, I mean, my God.
Well, to be fair, earlier this year in Elimination Chamber, Rhea came in to her hometown as champion, and she still got a huge ass pop for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
So the only thing I can see is if he doesn't win at SummerSlam, which I don't think is going to happen. I think Gunther is going to win it at SummerSlam. But if he does get screwed, he definitely will win it in Bash in Berlin. But he's going to win in SummerSlam, because I don't see Gunther's been protected so much to the point where it's he only should lose when it's really matters.
The new era's Roman Reigns, basically, is Gunther in terms of how he's booked. But yeah, I think
the thing is, Gunther's really good, though.
Yeah. I think bottom line is, no matter what happens to Drew, Damian, Punk, Gunther's going to be the champion soon. I think we can all agree about that. And I think he'll have a pretty long reign once he wins it. I'm expecting at least a year, maybe even a few.
Could be the longest world heavyweight champion. I mean, technically, Seth's only held it for almost a year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah, and I guess none of the other, the one behind me, that doesn't count in terms of lineage, so.
The only champions have been him, Drew, who has the shortest reign, and Priest.
Exciting stuff, but let's get into the next pay-per-view, which is Double or Nothing. I rarely talk about AEW except when it's about news, but just because it's a big pay-per-view, I definitely want to talk about it. We're not going to go over all, 12, 13 matches. That'll take us 5 hours, but we'll just talk about the big moments. Let's start with the first one. MJF is back, baby. After Adam Cole,
look at that.
After Adam Cole cut a promo, MJF came out looking tan as shit. My God, he was in that whatever
jacket.
He's wearing the Triple H jacket. He low blowed Adam Cole and gave him a braid buster, then cut a promo saying he's pro AEW. He even has a tattoo for it, which is interesting.
My brother, he saw that tattoo and he asked me, he's like, Troy, doesn't MJF have money? I'm like, yeah. I think he's one of the highest people paid in AEW. He's like, why does that tattoo look so shit? And I'm like, Mark, I don't know what to tell you. My brother hates that tattoo.
Well, hey, look at Cody's tattoo. So
tattoo looks like it was expensive. That AEW tattoo, it looks like he got for $5 Flash at a Friday the 13th sale or some shit. I'm gonna be honest, that tattoo ain't great. Not gonna lie. I feel like
it's one of those. It's one of those temporary tattoos you get out of those parties,
I don't know. I think it's a little cheesy with the tattoo, and I wish he put more money into the tattoo. But I'm so happy MJF's back.
It's not going to age well, that tattoo, if like AEW goes out of business or he goes to WWE.
Covered up with a giant WWE logo.
But anyway, Troy, you were saying missed MJF.
AEW has missed MJF. They really have. They've missed good promos and like this kind of like react. Like AEW's been missing MJF. Like the MJF hole, like once he left, has been sorely missing. That's why like since he left, I have like not watched. Because it's clear, like, it's just flattened out my interest. But now that he's back, I am curious what they're going to do. Because I imagine, because Cole's also not done anything with his devil faction anyway. So it's like,
everything was injured.
Everything, yeah. So, like, is he just going to face all of the devil? I don't remember what their name is, not going to lie. Don't care enough to. Is he just going to face all of them again until Cole's healthy again? It was Cole healthy again. I don't know. I'm happy MJF's back. I'm just imagining him versus Swerve.
I've heard Tony Khan say like Cole's not 100%, but he's close. The fact that he took that brain buster, it's like, okay, so he should be close to 100%.
Some bumps.
Yeah, I'm just amazed that they're still doing the storyline just because I thought it was dead because the Undisputed Kingdom has just not been interesting.
That's what the fuck it is.
Yeah,
not tell you the same
but I guess they're still going to do it, and I'll give it to the crowd. When Adam Cole pulled out the devil mask, they were chanting loud for him, and then he came out and got a huge pop. So it seems like there can be some life in this angle because the video that was shown too before he came out was like the pictures of both of them, but ripped. So I mean, it could still be great. It's just the injuries derailed it, but I'm hoping they can come up with something.
We'll see.
Matt, what do you think that your boy's back?
He's my boy now? Oh, well, that's because I knew him before.
He's our scumbag. The scumbag.
Yeah, I'm glad he's back. I feel like, the crowd reacted huge to it. This is like the only thing I actually saw of the pay-per-view like later on because I didn't watch the actual pay-per-view, but I did see all the his return and him kicking at him on the balls and shit and him trying the promo. But yeah, you could tell the crowd missed him, and the fact that he's staying. Some people had their doubts, and some people could say, "Oh, I knew he was going to stay," and all, but no one actually knew. But I think that he definitely got one hell of a pop, just like when Triple H did back in 2002 with the jacket.
Yeah.
Something about the jacket.
It's that jacket.
But no, it was nice to have him back. The crowd genuinely popped huge for it. I think they're finally starting to get their shit together. AEW maybe. I still haven't been really paying attention. I couldn't tell you all the matches even on this card because I haven't been watching any of it, and it's just I don't know. It's not that I'm don't want to see it, but it's just I got my own shit I got to deal with, and I just
yeah. But
and now I got school back again because I am in school in the summer. Ooh. But
nobody cares about that. But
yeah.
I saw a funny joke from that MJF jacket where it's what you want to get on Wish, and it's the Triple H jacket, and it's what you actually get, the MJF jacket. Which is true, but like I said, he came out so tan. I'm like, dude, were you in the tanning bed a little too long? Like Ross from Friends, that one scene. That's what that reminded me of. But yeah, it feels good to have him back. It was interesting that he said, I don't need a New Japan or Vince McMahon. But I wanted to say to MJF, he's gone. He didn't have to say Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
But it's bringing him Vince's name.
I don't need a hunter, but I do need his jacket.
That would have been funny. But yeah. It's good to have him back. One of the biggest moments of the night. And another unfortunate news from that pay-per-view. And Adam Copeland released a video on Twitter saying he broke his leg, basically. something with his like meniscus or something. I forgot like if it's torn or something along those lines, but he's going to have surgery, I think, later in the week. And he doesn't know how long. I've looked it up. I think typically those type of injuries are 6 months ish, around that range. And I don't know if you saw the spot of him jumping off the cage. He kind of landed awkwardly.
It's the Sid 2000, the WCW spot where he lands like very awkwardly.
Yeah, he was supposed to do like an elbow drop, but I think he was like nervous, like land on his neck or land on something.
Yeah, I didn't see that part. Oh, I mean, the only thing I did see about that match was that Gangrel was in it. He showed up.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Gangrel, and he looked good. The DDTs he was given, that was great, and the match itself was fun.
I heard like a while back when Adam Copeland was still in WWE that he wanted Gangrel to show up for some of his rivalries, and then WWE was like telling him no. And I'm like, why? You're having him do the blood gimmick and shit. Like you're having him play the music. Like
I think the Demon match at 39. He wanted him part of his entrance, and they're like, people don't remember. Like, what are you talking about? Yes, they do.
The crowd just did.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. I hope that wasn't Triple H that said that. I'm thinking that was just probably a bunch of producers that said that. Because I don't think that'd be something Triple H would say.
Like, Gangrel cannot cost that much to bring in. This man probably is, like $20 in a sandwich? Come on. There's no way. It's not like Sexy Red on NXT, which actually is about to happen right now.
Watching that?
Hell no, I don't give a shit. You know what's funny? When I saw that, off tangent. When I saw that Sexy Red, I didn't know she was a rapper. I thought it was the fucking other, what is the AW lady? Like thin black woman, like Violet, what?
She's gonna reveal that she's been doing all the new theme songs for everyone recently.
Turn that shit off right now.
CFO, god damn, you guys suck.
Back to this match. I didn't. So this is the one match I didn't watch. I actually didn't watch this one, so I don't have any opinions on it. Hopefully, I'm curious. Will they do interim or will they just vacate it? Because AEW is so wonky about it.
They gotta vacate it if it's a freaking broken leg. I don't know how the heck you're gonna.
Or maybe they can do like an interim champion.
That's what I'm saying. Which one will they do? Because they've done.
But if he's out for 6 months, how are you really gonna have an interim 6-month champion and then have him come back?
Yeah.
I mean, they did it with Punk though.
Knowing Tony Khan, he will do the whole interim shit.
Like I said, they did it with Punk. So
and Thunder Rosa, remember Thunder Rosa broke?
Oh yeah.
It was 7 months before we technically have a new champion. Would those interim reigns now count?
Yeah, and I remember back when they had that AEW show going on, and Britt Baker was pissed on how who was it? Tony Storm wasn't recognized as the actual women's champion or whatever. Considered she was just the interim because Thunder Rosa was gone for how long or whatever.
I think interim championships in wrestling is fucking stupid. Just vacate the damn belt. It's been the same for years, and I understand trying to add something different. I just think it makes title reigns and stuff convoluted.
Yeah, you should have just the champion be recognized as champion. But however, once the person does come back, they should get a rematch for a title they never lost.
You can have the rematch, but to say that, I'm still the champion, so that belt you have is technically a replica or something, I find that just weird.
Yeah, it is a little bit odd. I wanted to ask, I know, Matt, you said you haven't watched too much of the pay-per-view, but if either of you have any other key points from Double or Nothing that you want to talk about, go ahead.
I do have one.
Oh, he's got one.
I did hear Will Ospreay won from Roderick Strong.
I did hear that.
I think that was a good decision because I don't think you should put Will Ospreay in the main world title picture yet, especially when Strickland is kind of huge right now. So I think the only thing I have concern in is how he's going to lose the title. Into who? Because Will Ospreay is for them is a huge star for them. So I'm just I'm glad they're booking him well right now. But my concern is like, how are they gonna like? Because eventually he's gonna lose the title, and I'm assuming he's gonna go for the world title at some point. But I don't know.
All in, maybe, because it's in his home country.
Yeah, it could be.
But isn't that like 3 months?
Yeah, he can have like a 2-month reign and lose it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is he going to lose the title that soon just to go for the world title?
If he lose, I imagine it's going to be some triple threat or something where he doesn't get pinned, so they protect him in a way to somebody.
That's fair. Also, I think didn't Willow Nightingale retain?
No,
Mercedes won. I was just about to say that. Mercedes is the new TBS champion.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Statlander turned
Here.
on Willow.
But it was kind of late. Like, from what I heard,
It was after the match when they were walking back.
It was a little contrived because it was like they didn't have much time for the heel turn. So it was like, go.
I think people were a little upset because they were been a good duo and they just kind of end it.
Yeah. Is this draw supposed to bring Chris up to like, I guess, like the main world title of women's? Because she's only a TBS champion.
I mean, they're making the TBS title a big deal, the fact they're putting it on Monet. I feel bad for Nightingale because she's over as hell. And she barely had a reign.
Yeah. This year was nothing. It was what, like one pay-per-view? Because she won at last show against Julia Hart.
Yeah, it was still a great match. I saw some of it. And Monet's going to bring some nice exposure for the TBS title. And I'm excited for that. I want her to lean. I think she's kind of a tweener right now. I want her to lean fully eventually into heel. She's just better as a heel. That's just her character.
Yeah, it's just her way of living. I am curious who her first opponent's going to be. I don't know. Because Willow is obviously going to face Chris. So
it's going to be Becky Lynch at All In because Becky's leaving WWE to go to AEW.
Get out of here, Mark. Get the fuck out of here. No shit.
2 of the 4 horsewomen in AEW, dear God.
That ain't happening.
The other
Hey, Charlotte's not in AEW either. She's going to AEW.
Andrade came back to WWE for her. Actually, I did hear a thing, which I don't know how far Malachi Black's contract is, but I heard that like whenever his contract's expiring, whenever that is, I don't know when, he's gonna go back to WWE to be with his wife. But that's
considering he always loses big time matches, I don't blame him.
That's also why I heard he's getting a push right now. Like that's why he's facing Copeland because they're trying to get him to resign.
Yeah.
We'll put him over if you want him to resign.
You can see the same shit with Miro. Because Miro hasn't done anything whatsoever.
He's gone. Like, and
when's the last time we've seen him? Yeah.
CJ Perry just fucking other dudes. That's their storyline in WWE and in AEW.
Well, the thing is, I heard they actually got divorced in real life.
Yeah, CJ actually did it.
Because I think there was a storyline, but then it led to, I guess, them splitting up. But
and now Miro's off TV again. Miro has spent I feel like his entire run in AEW, he's been on TV 5 months. That's it. That time he's fucking gone. He'll come in, do 2 pay-per-views, leave again for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is this?
It's an example of an overbloated roster, and I've heard that AEW, the talent, are not happy that the roster's too overbloated because there's too much people, and there's only certain guys you can have exposure to. So leaves guys like Miro lost in the shuffle.
We have 3 TV shows. How do you not have room for fucking everyone? This is insane.
Their roster is huge. It's
7 hours of content a week, and you still can't fit everyone. Goddamn, people.
Oh, shit.
Well, moment of the podcast right there.
Something went on my phone, and I tried to move it out of the way, and it knocked my phone.
Oh, Matt's a disaster. But anyway, the one thing I wanted to say that I'm shocked, I'm not sure if either of you have seen, but the main event itself, it was freaking chaotic. I don't know if you saw the little things in the match.
I was just about to say Anarchy in the Arena, because I was like, wait, that was like the main event. There's only 2 things I knew that happened, or 2 or 3 things, and it was Jack Perry's like pants caught on fire because
Yeah, he was literally caught on fire. Darby set him on freaking fire.
That shit's awesome. I saw a clip of Tony Khan rolling down the goddamn.
That's the only thing I saw that entire match. The only thing I gave a shit about Tony Khan looking terrible as he rolls down like a fucking barrel on the. Oh my god! And people are excited for that fucking when Jack Perry came back to beat up Tony Khan, and this is how Tony Khan's gonna go. Of like, if this match is somehow gonna end up with Tony Khan versus Jack Perry, this is going to be horrendous.
Well, the weird thing about that match was when Perry grabbed Tony Khan, he all of a sudden was wet, so it looked like flame retardant stuff he had on. Like, it just happens to have it on just so Darby can set him on fire.
Weird.
As Matt's phone's going off.
He's calling me.
That's fun.
They had like some technical issues there or something, but
the final countdown when the Young Bucks were like, turn that shit off, that's too expensive.
Yeah, they played Darby's theme for a bit. The Young Bucks said, turn that off, play our music. And then, like, 30 seconds later, Danielson's like, turn this shit off. Let's play the greatest theme of all time. They played the final countdown for a few minutes. And then, I think I don't know which Jackson said it, but, like, he was like, cut this off. We have to pay $200,000 for this. We can't afford that. We have a budget.
I think it was 400,000, but
Jesus Christ, that's insane.
That was funny. That what they did with the music. That was cool.
I didn't see the whole finish to it, but I did see a picture of it where Darby Allin was hanging upside down.
Yeah, he's hung upside down, and the fans were chanting, "Please help Darby," because the poor guy's head. God, the blood going to his brain must have. Oh God, that must have not been fun for him. I think the finish was Perry kneed Danielson and pinned him for the win. Obviously, the Elite were gonna. I knew they were probably gonna win. They're the hottest storyline, if you were to say. But yeah, it's like, where do you go from here? It's tough. They might do Blood and Guts. I think that might be coming up. So that's probably when they'll get revenge.
That or Stadium Stampede.
What's the difference between Anarchy and the Arena and Stadium Stampede at this point, though? Aren't they technically like just big brawl around the arena?
Stampede Sports Entertainment.
Yeah, Stadium Stampede I think was like COVID, like not in the stadium. Anarchy in the arena was actually in the stadium where they're at.
Yeah.
So you go from a match which is just blood and everywhere, just everyone's going around, to the same match, but this time we have cages. It's the exact same match, pretty much. It has the same rules.
I hate to say it, I'm not a huge Blood and Guts type guy. Like, I know, like, War Games, all that stuff, like, people have nostalgia for it. I like the one in, I think, 2022 with Jericho Appreciation Society and Claudio in his, like, first match when he swung Jericho on top. That was good, but, like, overall, some of their matches, like, last year's, I don't remember liking that much. The first one where Jericho fell off in an obvious padded cardboard.
It was hilarious. I just saw the internet explode. It was fucking funny.
I'm just not into those matches. They're kind of a mess to get through.
Well, it's weird as well, because Blood and Guts and stuff, like War Games, used to be like, that's where the feud would end. That's where we're going to stop this shit. But in AEW and other, like, even WWE matches, that's not where stuff ends anymore. So it's not like the, like, threat of the match and, like, the stakes of the match don't exist, because you know you're going to keep feuding for, like, another couple weeks. So I just feel like it's a weird stopgap. I don't know. I find it weird, like I said, that you're going to have this match that's basically the exact same match, like Anarchy Arena, fighting all over the arena and crowd, but yet Blood and Guts, which is the same match with blood and weapons and shit, but confined to the ring.
Yeah.
I think it should be the opposite way.
Yeah. I don't want to come off as like I never try to come off anti-AEW. I just talk WWE more. I understand the criticisms they had. I think people can be a little bit ridiculous with the criticism. We're just trying to hate on them just because like we like WWE. So like anything they'll do, that everyone will be like, oh, AEW, Tony Khan. It's like, give them a chance. I feel like the television programming is kind of with Dynamite and Collision, but I think they still deliver on pay-per-views. And I recommend Matt like going back and watching some matches because they were pretty good. Because the pay-per-views themselves, they never really miss that much. It's just the TV that's kind of not as good.
I think it's also the problem. I think AEW has gotten too big for its britches. Like back when it was like 2020, 2019, when like they had some stars, but it was still like very small. I feel like AEW was getting to its peak, and I feel like it's just kind of too bloated now. So the cracks and the faults of AEW are showing a lot more.
Yeah, I just don't want them. I know people are praying for it to go out of business. I don't want that.
No,
It's a much better world when people can get paid and wrestle and when there's two promotions. So I don't think AEW is going to die. I think Tony Khan's got plenty of funds, I think, to where he can fund it. It's just hopefully he can make it a little more entertaining of a product. Like I said, the Copeland injury sucks. At least they have MJF back. But
there was another thing that I saw, with talent not being used. I saw Ricky Starks is cleared, but they have nothing for him.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
And even he's very frustrated. I'm just listen, they have nothing for him. I know he would go straight to WWE because I think that he got some heat because he was there to support Cody for some matches or whatever, and it's just that's his friend. He can show up to a WWE event or whatever.
I wouldn't be surprised because Punk got the same heat when he visited when he was still with AEW. I wouldn't be surprised if Tony and them were why would you go to WrestleMania and support your best friend?
Yeah. It wasn't even just Mania. I think Ricky Starks was also there at Backlash.
Yeah.
But
I saw he wants to sit at home.
Which sucks because Ricky was kind of getting last fall a push. He beat Punk, had a few matches with Danielson. I think he was a tag champ with Big Bill for some reason.
I was like,
it looks like something was going to happen for Ricky.
I actually did the whole Big Bill Ricky Starks thing.
It was fun. I felt like it was out of nowhere. You're tag champions, these two? What?
Yeah, but in a sense, it made sense because they pretty much just said, look, we're not a tag team. We're just single stars. But together we're the greatest team to have these titles. He's just we're still single stars. We don't need to have a tag entrance. We don't need blah, blah, blah. We're just here. We have the championships. That's all you need.
They held them for a while, didn't they?
Yeah, I had a couple months. I mean, they lost it to Darby and Sting.
Oh, yeah, and then they immediately vacated those belts.
Well, speaking of Big Bill, I want us to talk about Jericho his other reinvention now.
This is Jericho's where I think it was last year I was bitching about Jericho, and I'm gonna bitch about him again. I fucking hate this Listen, Jericho, you have
the learning tree. Hi.
Terrible.
Everyone turned on him as soon as he got rid of Judas.
Yeah, pretty much. That was the only reason we kept cheering.
They stopped singing Judas before he even got rid of it.
Yeah.
It's because he's not over anymore. He's not doing good matches, and all of his storylines take fucking forever. They are just his Don Callis feud was horrendous. It went nowhere. Did it go anywhere? No.
The Cole feud was bad last year.
That was also horrendous.
The only thing I think last time I cared about him was probably when he was Ring of Honor World Champion.
I really didn't care about. I think the last time I cared was once the Jericho Appreciation Society, and I'm and I'm done. I barely listen. Y'all can fuck off right now, Jericho. Stop.
I would say the last time I cared about him, and I also think when the wheels started to fall off, was the Eddie Kingston feud, and when he beat him in that barbed wire match, and people were like, "Why didn't Eddie win the feud?" I think that's when people started to kind of turn on him a little bit. He kind of had a rough 2023 as well with the stuff he was doing. I appreciate he's trying to reinvent himself, but he always says that. But I'm like, I think you're reinventing yourself too many times to the point where we don't know who you are anymore. Why should we invest in your character when you change every year because you get stale? Every time he turns face, he gets stale and has to turn heel and join a new stable that lasts a year, and then they break up. It's what they call it, the Jericho vortex or something.
Yes,
that's what
we're on Jericho too. And
where he's in a storyline that's a year with someone that's not going to benefit from him at all from feuding with Jericho.
Yeah, Hook's not going to benefit at all from this.
And the please retire stuff may be a little bit disrespectful. I mean, when he retires, like, he'll be looked at as a legend. I do agree he should probably go on a break. I mean, the quality of his matches aren't there from the beginning of AEW. I still want to, no pun intended, appreciate Jericho and the stuff he's done, but it just almost feels like it's fallen off a bit. It's almost to the point where AEW doesn't need him anymore. I don't know if he needs like a Cody type thing where he can go back to WWE and he'll get cheered and stuff. I don't know what Jericho's going to do. He's still the FTW champion, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon. So
he brings the FTW belt to Royal Rumble.
I mean, I respect Jericho as a legend and everything, and I don't want to hate on him as much as Troy has, but I got to admit he's getting stale. For me, really stale.
Honest, man, I would just say what I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that fact because, like, I think he's getting to the point where he's like, we all know he's getting old, and he hasn't just been performing as well. Like, I think he needs to like just wrap it up with AEW. Go to WWE for just like either whether it's just one match or not, retire there and just.
Get in the Hall of Fame. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Because, like, I mean, it's only you get to a certain point where it's like when you get old, you can't wrestle anymore. And the thing is, like, with like, I don't want Jericho to be like Ric Flair, where he will never retire type shit. And like, I know I saw a clip on Instagram comparing Jericho's as like the Hulk Hogan or whatever.
Oh yeah, brother, that don't work for me, brother.
I think that might be a bit of a stretch of a comparison, but I get that. I don't know about the whole old age thing because Sting looked great.
Well,
Adam Copeland's around the same. Adam Copeland's around the same age, and I know he got injured, but the fans still love him. He's still putting on great matches. Yeah, but like it's different wrestlers, different types of injuries that they've sustained throughout their careers. So you don't know what Jericho's going through.
The thing is, Jericho's not fit though. You know what I mean? Like,
I did. I mean, we're the last people to talk about fitness. I hate criticizing it when I got a belly, but I did notice because like 2 years ago, Jericho like when he was first in AEW, he was heavy, and he like admitted that. Like I think he almost died in like 2021 in Europe or something. And then in 2022, he lost a ton of weight, had like a six-pack and looked great. And now it seems like he's back to like 2019 form, which he's in his 50s, but like still, you could tell he's slower.
Yeah.
I don't want to dunk on Jericho, but I mean, I just had to talk about it because he's just always the worst part of like a pay-per-view or Dynamite. He's always the least interesting thing.
AEW.
Even if he can like realize to retire and be like a backstage guy for AEW or a mentor, because I bet he's still a good mentor to young talent.
Or
just we don't need you on screen.
Yeah, be a manager, just don't wrestle.
Manage Big Bill.
Or
like
who's the other person at Hook match? I don't remember.
I forgot who came out and costed Hook. I forgot who it was.
The cowboy hat title. Cowboy hat. I remember the Indies were like, what?
He's like, cowboy. I know you're talking about Brian Keith.
Yeah, Brian Keith.
The most generic name ever. Yeah. No idea who that is.
Okay, so that's it for AEW. The one other thing from back to Queen King of the Ring, we didn't see the Wyatt Six.
Yeah. I was very shocked.
I think.
How long are they gonna wait for this? Like they've been teasing this for like months now.
I've heard that there's like a date in June, like the 18th or something. June, yes, where it's like that might be when they come out. So that's like 3 weeks from now. But it's shocking. I would think they would do this on a pay-per-view, but
I don't think it's June 19th because I'm pretty sure that's a Wednesday.
They show up on Dynamite.
I'm supposed to be off on school that day, so
You show up to your school out of nowhere, and they're like, "You're not even there."
It's just, I don't know. It's odd that I mean, I'm excited for it. I think there was like a bunch of pictures on Raw where like mysterious figures were there. Like it looked like Alexa Bliss or something.
They had Bo Dallas's teeth. I saw that.
I like the creepy QR codes and stuff they've been doing in the voicemails. And if you saw the Twitch stream with the lost therapist or something, yeah. Like that was interesting stuff.
I am safe. Let me free.
I mean, I'm still intrigued by it, but it's just, eventually you have to pull the trigger.
And the thing is, like, when Bray Wyatt returned, right, rest in peace, when he returned, the whole QR code stuff, that lasted only like a month or something. Like, it was like not, they did it for like 5 weeks or something like that, and then he showed up at Extreme Rules, which was quick. So, like, I thought, because they released like one of the QR codes or something, it had the date for King of the Ring, but it only just led to another QR code or something. So I was kind of like, okay, well, maybe because it's in Saudi Arabia, maybe, and they couldn't get everyone there, so they were like, okay, maybe we're just gonna push it somewhere else.
Clash at the Castle, maybe, but even then, it's like, when would you do that during that pay-per-view?
They're the ones that attack Drew. That's how Drew doesn't win the belt.
Maybe this is a really long waiting game. And it doesn't happen until SummerSlam.
That would be.
That's risky.
Money in the Bank before then? Isn't Money in the Bank like July?
Money in the Bank's before that, yeah.
Yeah, but how would you do that? Well, no, they could probably cost someone in the Money in the Bank match or something. Maybe.
Bray Wyatt returned to the Extreme Rules. He just showed up at the very end.
That's what I'm thinking. That's more going to be. It's just they show up.
He just showed up with like, hi.
That's what I think is going to happen. More just showing up more than anything, rather than attacking people.
Well, if it's a group, why they're just going to show them on the stone? Yeah, I was back. End the show.
Loomis is here.
No, if it's a group, the logic response is that they're going to attack someone.
Listen, who knows if this storyline contains logic?
I might have an idea of what they could possibly do. Maybe a Money in the Bank, because I know some people have been saying like about Jey Uso, because he's like his entrance is kind of like copying Bray's.
That's true.
Like, maybe Jay's in Money in the Bank, and then they cost Jay in the match. But
I think me and Troy talked about a few weeks ago about, are they going to be heels or faces? It's going to be hard for them to be heels when we know it's a tribute to Bray Wyatt. Even Wyatt came back as a face back in 2022. So
yeah, that's because he didn't attack anyone.
And because it's Wyatt too. He's so beloved. Like, maybe you can do it because, like, I don't know. I guess you could do Dallas, Rowan, and the rest as like a heel faction. It makes more sense to be a heel faction.
Yeah.
We shall
see indeed, Troy. I think one final thing before we get to our top 5 list is SummerSlam. Not this year, but next year is going to be in Minneapolis. It's 2 nights. And it's 2 nights. 2 years. I screwed up there.
2 nights.
2 years, 2 nights. August 1st and 2nd, 2026.
Why not 2025? I will never know.
I definitely think this was like response because Minnesota was probably pissed that they didn't get a WrestleMania instead of Vegas because they were one of the front runners. So good for them to at least get a big pay-per-view, but still a little weird.
So when I first saw this, I looked at it and I was like, oh, okay, they finally know what SummerSlam's going to be in 2026. I'm like, they haven't revealed 2025. And then I looked at the comments and then I looked at the picture again. I'm like, oh, this is 2 nights. So I'm like, oh, okay.
2 nights now.
Well, what do you both think of this? Do you think this is a smart move? Do you think it's not? Do you think they should just do all big 4 pay-per-views, 2 nights?
Yes, I know you're very anti 2 nights. I know you've talked about this. I am of the opinion if you're going to have a show that's like a big show, like SummerSlam or like Royal Rumble, make it 2 nights. It's fine. Like Mania has worked with 2 nights. It is so refreshing to watch a 4-hour show and then go to sleep and then watch the extra 4-hour show. And like you think about like how Royal Rumble is going to work if they do it like this, because every time they do Royal Rumble matches, the between the women's and the men's Royal matches is always dead because no one gives a shit. And even in the main event Rumble match, no one gives a shit because we're all tired because we already saw a Rumble match. So I think if they do it like that, they can definitely book it better, because then the crowd's gonna be more awake. It's like, I saw the Rumble match last night, but that means we can get another one tonight, so the crowd's gonna be more refreshed. I'll be more amped up for it, so I'm not sitting there till like midnight waiting for the fucking match to happen. So I'm always on board for the 2 nights. Like, I don't think it's a problem. Like, I know paying for the show, it's actually going to see it, but like, let's be honest, I'm not gonna see most of these damn shows in person, so I don't care. I am curious if they do Survivor Series like that, because does that mean they're gonna have 2 War Games matches to main event each night? It would be.
I don't know. I know you said I'm not exactly anti 2 nights. I liked when Mania did it. I'm like more anti like, why are you doing this outside of WrestleMania? 2 nights. I get it. Yes, money, and I think it's because you want to get all wrestlers on pay-per-views. But I don't know if it'll just be too much to do it 2 nights. I don't exactly know. I get it'll benefit the crowd more and everything, because I guess SummerSlam last year and the Rumble affected the crowd. The crowd was dying. Like Roman J, they were dead. The men's Rumble, they were completely dead. But it's weird that they're not doing this for another 2 years instead of just next year going to 2 nights.
That's also true, yeah.
But, like, I sort of get it, but it's also just, like, now you're basically revealing that you're trying to make the Big Four the equivalent to Mania, which, yeah, there's Big Four, but, like, I want Mania to feel, like, special, where it's, like, only you have 2 nights because it's the grand spectacle and you have to get everybody on Mania and the storyline. It's just weird that, like, we're going to do multiple of these. I don't know. It's just a little weird to me. I no doubt think the Rumble's going to be 2 nights eventually.
And I'm okay with that.
And that's okay, because, yeah, you want both Rumbles to not have dead crowds. And any title matches at Rumble pay-per-views are always short, because they have to be because of the Rumble matches, so that can maybe help that out a little bit. But Survivor Series, yeah, is the one I'm questioning, which I know there's 2 War Games, but usually those pay-per-views still aren't that long anyway. But it seems like we're heading towards that route.
Here's the thing. I sort of agree with, like, Troy. Like, I do think it's a good idea with the big pay-per-views being that, because I have noticed that the other pay-per-views have kind of just been, like, very short. Like, with King of the Ring, it was, like, 2.5, maybe 3 hours. I'm not sure, but like I was at work for like the whole first hour, and when I got home, I only had 2 matches to watch. So I do think that Royal Rumble should definitely be 2 nights. What like Troy said, I think, because like when you do one Royal Rumble match per day between the 2 nights, one that like gives you more opportunity to do more title matches. Because I feel like the Royal Rumble has like not really had many title matches. I mean, like this year we had the Fatal 4-Way with Roman, and then like
the U.S. title match.
Yeah, see, like there was,
and they were both short.
Yeah, but I don't think there was any other title matches. There was only like 2 or 3. And I'm like, when you have like 8 titles, that's kind of like okay. So I feel like maybe like, you know, when you could do like say like, oh, this night the women's championships happen here, and then the next night the women's Royal Rumble's happening, and you get to see, you know, they have a stare down or something like that. Another thing too is it could help out with people's schedules with the Royal Rumble, especially returns and like debuts or whatever. Like, if a legend wants to be in the Royal Rumble match, but they can't do it Saturday, they could show up Sunday, and they can book the match this Sunday or something like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I do.
Yeah. It's just weird, too, that SummerSlam is the first that's 2 nights. I feel like they would have done the Rumble first to get the 2 nights and then do like SummerSlam.
No, because I think SummerSlam is the equivalent to WrestleMania, but it's like
It's
the biggest thing in the summer. So like I feel like those two were always the biggest, and then like Rumble, and then like Survivor Series.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just think because of both Rumble matches, I would have thought they would have the idea to separate that first because of how long their matches are. SummerSlam's still like WrestleMania. There's no like Battle Royal matches or that long of matches. But very interesting. And I want all three of us to, since we don't know where 2025 SummerSlam's going to be yet, let's all make our pitch. Triple H, come to Pittsburgh. Come to Pittsburgh next year for SummerSlam.
Hey, listen. Me and Troy were at Payback. Look, I was tearing it up in the crowds, all right? In the very high bleachers.
Okay, listen, shut up. No, you fucking... Okay, listen. It can be in Heinz Field. Do it in Heinz Field.
Acrisure, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's... I think you misspoke. What the hell is an Acrisure? Heinz Field.
Listen, we were lit for when the Judgment Day won the tag title match. We were lit the whole entire time, all right?
Right.
Yes, I know Triple H, we booed Batista out the building at the 2014 Rumble, and we're against it. Yeah, we did good for Payback. Pittsburgh's usually a pretty good crowd. It's the best Big Four to do in Pittsburgh in a stadium, no doubt weather-wise. And Acrisure's a good stadium.
I wasn't at the Royal Rumble in 2014. I got nothing to do with that. All right.
None of us were.
Don't let me. I was bitching my TV at home, though.
I was at Extreme Rules, and I will admit I was annoying at that. But
yeah, we apologize about that countdown thing. We apologize.
We're still pissed about that countdown thing.
We were just so hyped as fans that like we want to make noise. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man. Well, interesting fact, my one friend who's at Millersville, he went to the 2015 Rumble where they booed Roman out the building. Which one was worse? Pittsburgh booing Batista out the building or Philly booing Roman? Pittsburgh hates baby faces. But
unless you're Bruno Sammartino, because that's
or Kurt Angle. But like I can imagine the badass logo too if SummerSlam's in Pittsburgh, like the bridge or something, like a black and yellow SummerSlam logo. If it's in no disrespect to your city, Matt, if it's in Cleveland this year, there's no reason why they can't come to Pittsburgh. No reason.
Not at that shithole, Cleveland.
Hey, Cleveland's not a shithole.
And it seems like SummerSlam.
You know about it when we're there and everyone's hyped as fuck.
Who's getting?
That's a big if. That's a big if.
It's not me.
But I noticed the trend, and I appreciate it that they're going out east a little bit because I think they took a risk with Mania being in cold weather Philly, and you can't really have many Manias out east. So they're trying to give the eastern cities like a big pay-per-view because they really haven't gotten that besides Philly and New York, like around our area. So I appreciate that it seems like they're doing like a SummerSlam in Cleveland, like Ohio. Maybe they'll come to Pittsburgh. Minneapolis hasn't really gotten pay-per-views. That's cool that they are doing that. That Baltimore's a shithole.
Whoever's viewing, that's a fan. Sorry, Baltimoreans. We're gonna get some comments. I swear, if you have any Baltimore fans, I'm so sorry.
What did he say? Baltimoreans?
Baltimoreans.
That's what I was Baltimoreans.
Ravens suck.
I get it.
Yeah, the one comment I get per video. But we're almost an hour and 10 minutes into this. We got to do our final segment, and it's a top 5 list here. So, our top 5. I know I kind of said this. It's going to be top 5. I categorize it as least favorite wrestlers, but I don't, in terms of my list, I don't know about Troy Matt. I don't want to be disrespectful to the 5 wrestlers I mentioned or that they mentioned. I respect anyone who gets into the wrestling business and puts their bodies on the line. It's just we're not fans of these people. Like we're just not big fans. It's no disrespect. It's just our opinion. Just wanted to say that. So I think a better way, at least for me, to put it is like top 5 wrestlers that I don't like, but others may do. So, Troy, you're probably chomping at, or Matt, you want to say something first, and then we'll let Troy go at it.
Yeah. So is this any wrestler on the
Any.
list? And then does it have to be like currently or in the past or just overall?
It doesn't matter. I kind of lean more currently just because it's what I've watched. But yeah, you can be whatever. But Troy, let's start with you because I think I have a feeling about some of them.
All right. I'm just listing names off my head. I don't have any particular like list or anything. Let's go for the first one that's coming to my head. I've never liked Hook that much. I don't know why Hook got so damn over. He doesn't do much for me. He barely talks, and his moves aren't. He does suplexes, and I don't know. I never got the hype around Hook. I honestly didn't. I don't know why. Like he got like really over. It was like 2020 or 2021, and they just kept putting Hook with like everyone. Like he was like. It was like Hook House and just so many random tag teams for like no reason that lasted like all like what a month, and then they got rid of it, and now he's having this terrible feud with Jericho, and I'm like, yeah, you're still not great.
Speaking of Jericho, is he on that list?
No, listen, because Jericho was originally amazing. I have too many fond memories of Jericho. Nowadays, Jericho, yeah, I could put him on this list, but Jericho has given me too many good memories and too many good wrestling moments that I can't definitively put him on this list. Another one I'm thinking off the top of my head. He's doing better now, but back in the day, Dolph Ziggler. Lifetime hatred of this fuckhead. But he's doing much better as Nick Nemeth. So he gets somewhat of a pass, but he's still on this list. Because of my years of hatred for this fucking guy. Because of how, oh my God.
I think you stole Ziggler from Dylan's list.
We all hate Listen, oh my God. Another one I don't honestly love that much, Roderick Strong. I think he's a good wrestler. It's just, I don't care about his character. And I hate him. When he was just screaming Adam over and over again, it was make me turn the channel off. It was so bad. I'm sorry. I don't think he's got great charisma, and like he's an all right wrestler. I don't see him as amazing. I'm not going to lie. AEW has so many other better wrestlers. Like when he was with, Undisputed Era at NXT, I'm like, wow, that's the weakest link in the entire team. God damn. There's another one that everyone loves. I'm trying to think of a female wrestler. Because I'd say Julia Hart. I also don't get the hype around. I know she's improving. Another one. I thought of another one. Toni Storm. I've never loved Toni Storm that much. Sorry. That was great.
Wow. Okay.
For the longest time, I thought she was mid at best. I don't know what everyone was talking about.
I'll throw a shoe at your ass. I will admit I haven't cared much for her until this new gimmick. I knew she was always a good wrestler, but she finally has like a legit gimmick. Seems like they're turning her face too.
Which is weird, because this gimmick is very heelish. But no, even in like Dota, NXT, AEW for the longest time could not care about Toni. I do not know why people kept talking about Toni Storm, and I did not get the hype around her. At least with this new gimmick, I'm at least starting to get more behind her, because I'm at least like I love goofy shit wrestling. That's why I love like Papa Shango and like that kind of shit. I have so many soft spots for dumb wrestling gimmicks. So this dumb wrestling gimmick is starting to warm me up to her. But yeah, I just never got the hype. And the main event, we all know which one was here. I've bitched about this wrestler before. Me and my brother both agree. We don't hate this. I like this guy in promos, but man, this bum out of Walmart is. I've never fucking in Eddie Kingston. I'm sorry. What? I've bitched about this fucking. This man can barely wrestle. Let's be honest. All he has is some shit ass chops and maybe a back suplex if you're fucking lucky. He is. Oh, and he looks like a fucking homeless dude out of Walmart. He looks terrible. He's not that great. But man, can he cut a promo? Absolutely. I will at least admit that. Eddie Kingston can cut a promo all damn day, and he's fantastic. I always tell, so I remember when I first met Eddie Kingston, I was watching Impact Wrestling, and he was the manager for LAX. That shit was fantastic. Eddie Kingston can cut a promo all day long, like I said. He just can't wrestle. I'm sorry. He can't.
Very interesting list there, Troy. Very interesting.
So we got.
Well, it's technically supposed to be top 5, but you did like 6 or 7. You must hate a lot of people.
Eddie Kingston, Roderick Strong, Tony Storm, Hook, and Dolph Ziggler. So basically AEW people and Dolph Ziggler. Sorry. I don't get the hype.
Very interesting. I'll do mine next. It seems to be mostly WWE people.
Ooh,
I do have top 5. Number 5 is Nakamura.
Ooh.
That one might be a little bit hot.
Okay, to be fair, he's been shit though for a long time.
I get he's older. That's why I'll give him a pass because like he's been older. It's just when I don't watch many of his New Japan stuff, but I've watched like his match with Styles, and then I see in the main roster. I don't know if it's just because he doesn't seem motivated or if WWE limited him. It just doesn't seem like he had that same skill. Like in NXT in 2016 with Sammy, that match was incredible. Oh, yeah. But then I'm like, where was this at WrestleMania 34 against Styles? Like where were these classics? And now with like this new heel character, which I was sort of intrigued by, and the Steph matches were okay, and you even wanted him to win the world title. I really just didn't think he was world championship material. Just the way he wrestled and everything. He's not, like I said, he's older, not as great of shape. That's why he has to wear like what he wears, like his jacket thing.
The cat suit.
I just never, and even in his prime, he's never been my absolute favorite guy. So yeah, that'd be number 5. Number 4 is Brock Lesnar. Oh, that would have been that if this was 2018, back when he was the part-time champion, he would have been number 1.
Yeah, okay.
His cowboy gimmick and the feud with Cody kind of like made me like, okay. But again, I respect Brock. Like I said, I respect all the wrestlers on my list. I just don't want to get killed by any of them if they somehow listen to this. But his matches are nothing but suplexes. Suplex and pause, suplex and pause, suplex and pause, F5, hope spot, and like that's it. When he has to be in the ring with like Styles, Daniel Bryan, or like a Cody to be interesting. Besides the last man standing match with Roman, which was great, when he's in a match with like a Roman or Strowman or a big guy, there's not that good. They're not good matches. Yeah. I'm just tired of it. And considering how much of an athlete he is, like the Punk match from SummerSlam, this was before Suplex City. I'm like, he was pulling out like crazy moves and power bombs and shit. Where is that now? Like, why did all you do is Suplex City? Back in like 2014, it made sense when it was popular. In 2023, not a lot of people care about it anymore.
No.
And back when he was a part-time champion, which I could be a hypocrite for hating Brock's because I've tried to defend Roman's, but at least Roman had the bloodline story and an interesting character arc, while Brock, when he was champion, was not. It was the same old character coming back doing similar feuds of just someone wanting to slay the beast, and like that's it. And like you guys remember like that, like when he won Money in the Bank, how pissed off people were. When he beat Kofi, when he ended Kofi's reign, how pissed people were. When he ended Big E's reign, people were pissed. Like every time he wins a title, people are pissed, and it's a good reason because we're tired of him. His hyped up feud with Lashley was a complete disappointment. Like the only times I'm interested in watching Brock is when he's with a smaller guy, like in terms of match wise.
What you're saying is you can't wait for Brock to dethrone Swerve Strickland in AEW.
Brock and the black wrestlers. I don't know what his problem is. If Xavier Woods is ever champion, I better hope he comes back. But yeah, number 3, this one's probably a little more popular, is Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
I understand, like, he takes cool spots and he's, like, very athletic, but he seems just like a very fucking cocky dude. Like, not just character-wise, but, like, backstage. And you mentioned Eddie Kingston. He got into shit with him.
He did.
He's gotten into shit with, like, Andrade, too. Back then, he almost got fired, but somehow, like, they gave him a second chance, I think, because, like, Jericho likes him or something. But, like, I've never gotten the hype around him besides his moves. Because his character... What is his character? Like when he was like, I forgot his wife's name. Like back when they were like making out every week. When they were heels, it was one thing, but they were like doing that as baby faces, and no one liked it. Like he's one where I've never gotten the hype. He doesn't seem like a world champion, maybe like a mid-card champion, but I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of him. Number 2, controversial. This is going to be very controversial. Becky Lynch.
Oh, very.
This is one where it's like her character is great, but I don't look forward to her matches. She's another one where she needs to be in the ring with like a Trish Stratus or like a great athlete. Because it's not that her matches are bad, it's just her moves are so basic. The manhandle slam's a weak version of the rock bottom. She does like a leg drop that she doesn't even jump. She just like falls onto the opponent. Her original finisher to this arm, I don't even think was that strong of a finisher too. And her hyped up matches like the triple threat with Ron and Charlotte wasn't that good. Like, say what you will about Charlotte and the way she's booked, but she's a 10 times better athlete than Becky is. I just think Becky gets away with it with like star power and charisma and mic work. But like wrestling, that's why I'm not saying I don't get the hype. I get why like she's pushed and hyped, but it's just like she's nowhere close to me in terms of like the best wrestlers on the roster. Like I don't think she can hold candles to like Bianca, Charlotte, any of those type of athletes. Even Tiffany Stratton's like a hell of an athlete. So yeah, I've just never been the hugest fan of Becky that much. Honorable mention goes to Goldberg. This one's kind of like mostly everybody. I was hyped when he came back and beat Brock, but then when he won the Universal title and ended Owens' reign and ruined the Owens-Jericho Mania feud, had a great match with Brock at Mania, but like
he did.
And then the Undertaker match happened. Then he ended the Fiend's reign. And then he came back for like a match with Drew, and then a match with Roman, and Lashley.
That
just
Drew
like the law of diminishing returns. Like, Jesus Christ. He can't even hit jackhammers properly anymore. I would have gotten the hype if I was like 1998 WCW fan. But like, he's not a good wrestler. He's just like, he's basically like a stuntman. Like he just does like a few minute matches, just beats the shit out of people, which when it looks good, it looks good. When it looks bad, it looks horrible. And yeah, like I think William Regal like exposed them when they fought in a match. Oh, yeah. He even lost the backstage fight to Jericho. Like, yeah, he's a guy that's like all, to me, like, especially when he got older, like all hype, but like besides the Brock matches, just doesn't deliver. Number 1 is Matt Riddle.
I knew it. You've always hated this fucking guy.
Yeah, he's Troy's, well, back then Dolph Ziggler. I kind of got a liking to him with RK Bro just because they were a cool team and he fought Roman, but another guy like Sammy where it just seems like he's rubbing people the wrong way backstage, literally getting high backstage with RVD, which I don't give a shit about that, but it's like, I don't like Goldberg, but you're getting into shit with him. Apparently him and Brock got into issues. I don't know. And just the character got all the same old bro, like flipping the flip-flops off and everything. I've never been that invested in him that much at all. Like the only time was with RK Bro, but that proves he kind of needs a character like Orton to make him relevant. When he's by himself, like remember when he came back in 2023 for a few months and got fired a few months later?
Yeah, he did nothing.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm just not a fan
and now
that much.
In New Japan.
Now he's in New Japan and I'm not watching his stuff. Like, yeah, he's my number 1.
All right. We have Matthew now.
Oh, man. So I'm trying to think about my list. There might be one or so that I'm not sure if fans per se like the person, but I feel like I do need to talk about that person. So number 5, I will say Shotzi. I never really got into Shotzi at all. Like the only time when I knew about her was when she started in WWE and in NXT, and people were hyped with her. I just was not feeling it whatsoever. And when she got called up, I just kind of had a feeling she wasn't really going to be used properly, and that's pretty much what happened. Number 4, I'm going to say Ronda Rousey.
Oh, okay. I mean, fans did turn on her.
I think, like, with the first run, it was fine. But when she came back, I mean, you clearly could tell that she didn't give a fuck about the whole entire business. And the things that she's been saying and stuff like that with WWE prior and all that, and it just... I mean, she just has a bad track record with not only that, but with UFC too. So I just, had to put her on the list. Third one, okay, this was my little controversial one because I don't think people really liked him. But I'm going to say Vince McMahon. Because he did wrestle, and you think about the times that he did wrestle, half the time, him becoming ECW champion was just god awful.
We don't talk about that.
He became WWE World Champion as a face. Might I add. He won the 1999 Royal Rumble. The only thing I could say was good was probably with the whole Austin. Like the only time, when he faced Steve Austin, that was the only time I think fit. But I mean, the time where he teamed up with Shane to take on Shawn Michaels and God.
Wow.
I mean, everything he did wrestling, at least with Shane, he actually was entertaining, and he
product of my semen.
And at least Shane, he would always do some cool spot or whatever. Vince, he just, I mean, even with his last match where he beat Pat McAfee by kicking a football to his stomach.
It's so terrible.
And then took the worst stunner in history, which was funny, but still.
That was funny. That I didn't care. That was after the match too, but. And then, I mean, with the stuff, with the controversy stuff that, has been having, and I'm just, he's on the list. I mean, that's just, 2, this guy is sort of retired. I'm not sure if he's fully retired. Ryback.
Oh, the big guy.
What the fuck is your damn list?
The Great One's favorite wrestler.
and Ross's too. But at first I didn't really like him, and then it just wasn't until once it was after the whole Cena feud where he was heel. After that, I couldn't care less about him. I mean, I remember even when he won the Intercontinental title, I was just okay, you finally won something. That's cool, I guess. But I just
me more.
I just couldn't get behind it.
Gotta get some chips up in there.
And then when he went full Goldberg,
He finally in his final form.
When he went in shorts. When he went in shorts and then lost to Kalisto twice, I was just bro, that's crazy. And then the shit that he's been saying, after he's left, I mean, it's just, you can't get behind the dude.
And the fact that his real name now is because he's now Ryback Reeves. He changed his name to make sure he has Ryback.
He just says shit for drama. I don't think he actually believes any of the shit he says. He just does it to get views and clicks.
Because he needs something, because he's got nothing anymore, because no company wants him.
Or you can watch him eat a sandwich or chips in the weirdest fucking way I've ever seen anyone eat.
This man's not human. He's not human.
He's grunting.
He's a fucking NPC.
Say, feed me more. I'm not sure if I have an honorable mention.
You don't have to. I just did.
Okay. If it comes back to me, then I'll give an honorable mention. But number one,
it's gonna come back to you as soon as we end this podcast.
Yeah, sure. That or I just won't. Because this list was kind of hard for me. But one, someone that's, or one of you two already said the name. Old fuck. Goldberg.
Hey.
Oh, God, man. The whole thing with him burying Kevin Owens, I didn't like that. I didn't like the whole him burying the Fiend. Him almost killing the Undertaker was just horrible. I did not like that. And if you want to go real far back, I mean, he ended Brett's career.
Yeah.
Technically, I mean, I know Brett had a couple matches of it, but you know, Brett couldn't perform after that. Like,
yeah.
He did. And I just sometimes Goldberg doesn't make sense half the damn time. I remember when they did like that Raw reunion thing.
Sexy Red just unveiled the new women's belt.
Oh, breaking news!
We already knew what it was going to look like.
She's the champion. Apparently, she's going to be the host of the next NXT Battleground. She's going to be the host. But yeah, there's the belt, and then there's Sexy Red. We had to spend all this money on her.
Thanks, Troy, for completely ignoring his top 5 list and just going on your damn tangent.
Some bullshit that we already knew.
Matt, I'm going to tell you, we are a cutting-edge podcast where we tell you the breaking news as it fucking happens.
On a Tuesday night where NXT is the only thing going on.
Apparently was so big that they had to spend all this money on it.
Title once they announced that this was going to be on the line at the ladder match and all that. It's the same title, but with the white strap.
All right, back to your list. I was going to say an honorable mention that I thought you were going to say is Strowman. You said a lot of stuff back then about Strowman and the choo-choo trick. Like, you were not a fan of his at all. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan either, but, like, you were not a fan of his. I don't know what you think of him now with his return, but, like...
I think I'll switch with him and Shotzi's.
Strowman
can't be an honorable. He can't, because, like... I mean, Strowman right now is, like, because he returned. I'm like, But, like, I did like Strowman, like, at first and everything, but it got to the point where he just kept losing too many matches to the point where when he did win the fucking title, it just, I mean, you knew, is he doing the train bullshit? I mean, you knew, I've told you guys multiple times, like, I knew he was going to win the fucking Universal title, and when he did, I couldn't give two shits.
Yeah.
He was a replacement champion, and all of his title matches was against Bray Wyatt afterwards, to where the Fiend took the title. And I'm just like, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Like, it was so stupid. I couldn't get, like, him winning an IC title. Yeah, whatever. Him with the tag titles with Seth and all that, I was fine with that stuff.
The him and Shane's feud was one of the worst feuds I've ever seen. With the bruh. I'm like, what is this shit? Like, this has Vince written all over this shit, that storyline.
Back to the Goldberg thing, what I was trying to say was that one of the more recent rivalries that he had was against McIntyre. And to me, this rivalry was the most stupidest shit ever. If you remember, this started like when they sort of announced it or whatever, that when he confronted McIntyre for the first time, it was like a whole Raw reunion episode.
Mm-hmm, I remember that.
And McIntyre was hanging out with legends backstage, talking to them, having a good time and all that stuff, and say, "Oh, let's party, blah blah blah." And he had a title match on that episode's Raw. the main event, when the legends were watching him, they were cheering for him, and he was a face. Drew McIntyre was a face. And Strowman just comes out at the end of the night, and he's just
Goldberg, wrong name.
Oh yeah, Goldberg. He's just like, he was like, Drew McIntyre, I hear you're just respecting legends. I want a match. You're next. You know, and I was just like, what? When was he disrespecting legends? What the
And then I remember after that match, he was like, "You passed the test." Like, what fucking test are you talking about, dude? What test? That he can wrestle and you can't?
The only thing I did like was when he, like, I guess I did maybe guess Brock, you know, when he returned, and then I think him spearing the shit out of Ziggler. Him spearing the shit out of Ziggler was
Yeah.
also good. Other than that, everything else was just
He
absolute garbage.
He should have went out with the Brock match at Mania 33. That would have been the perfect way for him to go out, but nope.
Yeah. Nope.
What was his last match? Was it an Elimination Chamber?
Against Roman like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And that wasn't that good either. So
Oh, I remember there was talks that he was going to go to AEW, but then nothing came of that. Could you
Because he
imagine?
won so much fucking money. He won
he's
so
ending
much
Swerve's
fucking money.
reign. He's ending Swerve's reign at All In.
That's how it
Goldberg.
happens. Come on. Go. Listen.
If Tony Khan was smart, he wouldn't pay $5 billion for someone who is only going to do 5 spears and maybe a jackhammer that he can barely lift someone up with.
And concuss himself.
If Tony Khan was smart, he would not be paying Okada all that money. He would be paying it for Goldberg. Come on, people. Come on, my man. Okada, Goldberg. Okada, Goldberg.
All right, we got to end this podcast because it has been long, but it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. I hope to have you guys on another time. But for me, I am Dylan Shields, Troy, and Matt. I hope you guys have a great night. I'll be right back here Tuesday at 7.